morning. Today is the 5th of September, 2023, day after Labor Day. It was a quick Labor Day, quick summer. On Sunday, we went to the Fonda Fair, which is basically in Montgomery County, 2 counties down. We don't have a county fair here because it would take everybody that lives here to put it on. So it doesn't happen. So we were there. We took the grandkids and the great grandkids down. Had a good time. Showed them the livestock and the animals, and we looked at the ducks and the chickens. We picked out some silky chickens that we have to order for next year because she likes them. They look good. Anyways, I told her that we could grow raise silkies here, just because they would do fine. The young chicks, the young hens, are still young hens, but they just started laying. We've had 3 eggs so far out of them, but they're small. And that started on Saturday. So we're looking at egg production coming back up. Of course, now that summer's over and everybody's left speculator, so of course they're going to start laying. But that's okay because we can get rid of eggs all winter long if we need to get rid of eggs. I don't mind giving eggs away to people, that of the area because it just helps everybody out. So the idea was that we would have enough eggs during the summertime that we could sell eggs. So they will be producing come spring. So they will drop down at some point this winter. The ducks have been playing in their pond. They like their pond. We know we have one female duck. She is not laying yet. Usually takes about 6 months for a duck to lay, so she's got a ways to go. Not much longer. Shouldn't be much longer. By the end of the month, I think maybe. We'll see. As you can see behind me, we're starting to see some of our fall colors come through. Things have been on the cooler side for a while. You see up there, we got a maple that's turning, going to be an orange this year. We're going to have lots of oranges and reds, and we've got a red up the top of the hill. I don't know if you can see that one up there, but there's a red up there. Real early in the season yet for colors, but we've seen temperatures down in the low 40s last week. This week, and that was our nighttime low. So that really starts things kicking off. We have seen like this weekend we're back in the 80s. Things are fairly warm, but we're going to quickly go back into the highs of 62, 63 degrees, and that's pretty typical for this time of year. A lot of the camps camp owners are leaving. They're heading out. They're going back home to their second homes. A lot of people are getting ready to head for Florida within the next month. So close-ups are coming. I gotta get down and pick up my antifreeze. This year we're figuring about 100 gallons maybe of antifreeze for camps. I kind of sort of inherited a pile of another 8 camps that will need to be closed and opened. And whatever other plumbing issues that would crop up. So that's good. I don't mind that. That works out well. Plus the other ones that I already have, which is about another 20, 25. There's not many people left around doing that kind of stuff. So, and it's it's time consuming, but it's not a terrible job. So you just you got to take the day and start and do. Generally, I like to do 2 full days of camp closings, and I can get the majority of them done. Some of the people stay a little later. Some people don't even leave till November, so which is all right because it's not really going to be that cold. So then we got those ones coming up too. Still working on the house, the little teeny tiny house. Every time you go there, they change something else. So we're still working, doing something there. I've got actually a mobile home that it's got to have a new service panel put in, electrical. Needs plumbing and plumbing drain lines and plumbing water lines ran. That's coming up. That is I gave them the price on Friday, and we've been waiting for them to bring the deposit to get started. They agreed to the price and just said, well, we'll get you the money right away. They actually said he'd be back that day, but never came back. So, but he's busy. He comes up with things that need to happen and has to get done. And so, anyway, so that's going to happen. I did get rid of my storage fan. That went by the wayside the other day. So got that cleaned out. Found some junk I didn't even know I had, or I forgot I had. So that's all gone. Update on the powerhouse. The power that we're running fairly good still, especially for this time of the year. We ran all through July and August. Generally, those are our shutdown months. So this year's been a little bit unusual. The thing that makes me nervous about that is because we got all the rains through the summer months. What's the winter going to be? Generally, you get your average precipitation, and that's what you get. So, are we going to get snow this year? I don't know. How much snow are we going to get? That's a good question. I know the early forecast, you're going to get a blizzard. We get a blizzard every year. Yeah, so, it's nothing for us to see 36-inch snowfall. We just go about our business and go get it cleaned up and move on from there. Might take us a day, but that's what we do. The thing that worries me the most is when you don't have the snow on the ground. It drives the frost level down farther, and if we get the frost down past the 5-foot mark, for instance, people's water lines are going to freeze up. You're going to have lots and lots of water main breaks, a lot of breaking on water mains. Generally, what we do is we make sure that we're down at least 4 feet in the ground for that, and if we can't get any lower than that, because sometimes you can't, because we're in the mountains, so we deal with bedrock at sometimes at 18 to 24 inches. So when you run into a situation like that, we put 2-inch styrofoam over the top of the water pipe. Sometimes we double stack it, just depending on what our height is, and that insulates it a little bit better. So we try. We do the best we can with what we got to work with. I had a customer over the weekend, well, yesterday actually, that has an Airbnb. They've been having some issues with their well. It's a shallow well with a jet pump on it, with a deeper jet pump setup. So they're down 25, 30 feet. They called last weekend and said they were starting to get some silting, and then I was like, oh, okay, well, that's fairly common. So generally what we do is we just put a filter on just to protect the water system collect the debris and whatnot. So I put a filter on it, a filter system in. I put a 20 micron filter for just a coarse filter. They called on Friday and said we're still getting some small particles. And I said, okay, well, drop down, put if you can find a 10 micron or a 5 micron, put that in. Well, they found a 5 micron, they put it in. It lasted almost the whole weekend. When I got there yesterday, I went to just to change filters because they had already left. They were on their way home. They run it out as an Airbnb. People are coming in yesterday. So I ran out there just to change the filter. Figured I'd go back to the 20 micron, and they just have to deal with some sediment in the water. That's just what you're going to have to do. Except the water, the filter was full of sand. Not just the filter itself had sand packed on it. The filter cartridge was full of sand. I couldn't even get the cartridge out, so I had to work on that, get it out, flushed out what I could flush out. It was not a good scenario. Very, very fine particles, so very fine sand, which tells me that the well itself is either filling in with sand, so basically it's a collapse situation, or they've got a vein. One of the fissures that's in there is pushing sand in, and either way, they've got to drill a well. So, hate to call people and tell them you need to drill a well. The problem is where their well pump is in the basement. They built over the top of it, which is terrible. So they cannot use that well. They cannot pull anything out of it. They can't reuse it. They can't re-drill it. They can't reline it. They can't do anything because they can't get a drill rig in there to push it down. So they'll have to drill a well exterior, dig a trench, come into the house, and run a new line. The pressure tank's probably going to be full of sediment also, so that'll have to be changed. We'll have to flush the water heater well. Maybe we can get most of that sediment out of there. It's not a good scenario. So unfortunately, I had to call them and tell them that. And I just hate to give people bad news like that, because that's $14,000 easy. But anyhow, sometimes I think that stuff happens. We had problems with the well earlier this year. People said they ran out of water, but there was lots of people using it, so that doesn't help. Large groups using large amounts of water, it's just not a good. And it was a poor well to start with. So, anyways, unfortunate. So yeah, it's up to them to find somebody to do it. They can call whoever they'd like to get it drilled and figure out how they're going to do that. I don't know if I'll be involved in that. It's hard to tell. The small house that I've been working on, I'm going to be involved in a water line today. We had the village came and looked at the water the other day for the water meter, and they said that old line needs to be replaced coming into the house. We didn't have to do it, but if it breaks in the middle of the winter, we still have to put it in. So my thought is, it's been sitting empty for a number of years. Let's just do it. And the homeowner was there and said, yeah, I've got a backhoe coming, so we can just easily dig it up. And it's really not, the pipe is inexpensive. Nothing's inexpensive anymore. the pipe is relatively inexpensive, so that's got to be happening. So we're doing that today. I've got another guy that's got a septic issue. We got to go look at that, and then I've got to go up to Whitaker Lake, to one of the off-grid cabins. Meet a guy up there too, because we've got a water leak on a plastic pipe, so that's on the agenda also. So it's just going to be a busy day. Tomorrow I got to take Lee to Albany. He's got to get an eye exam down there, some kind of a military thing that they're doing. He's talked to the Marine recruiter, and now he's talking to the Army recruiter. So the Army's really dangling some good carrots in front of him for the recruitment. The Marine Corps doesn't need any. Well, doesn't the Marine Corps is not behind on their personnel. The Army, the Navy, and the Air Force are very behind. So lots of incentives, lots of sign-on bonuses for different occupations in the Army. So he's really leaning towards the Army now. He's got the ASVAB test coming up on the 18th, and he said, depending on his score for the ASVAB, he will probably leave the next week, depending on when the next boot camp is. He wants to be an infantryman, so whatever. He can do whatever he like. He's young. All right, well, that's pretty much where we're at. Things are going good. My mother is planning a trip out here sometime this month, so I'm not sure when. I'm going to bring out my Aunt Darlene, or Aunt Darlene's bringing out my mother. One way or the other, I'm not sure what it is. But the two of them will be out here. Aunt Darlene loves it out here when the trees and the leaves are changing. She's an ooh and an ah. So we'll do some sightseeing then, and I'll try to take you along. Maybe I'll get a better camera by then. This one's getting kind of scuffed up, broke up. You know, I keep dropping my phone, so pretty tough on them. Anyways, so I'll give you a quick look at my tomatoes. These are my voluntary tomatoes that I got. They're growing voluntary. They're Romas. So this week will help them with the higher temperatures, 80s and 85s. Before the end of the week, we'll get some red ones out of there. These come, there's all scattered through here. There's tomato plants, and they come from bringing down spaghetti and goulash and whatever we have left for the chickens that were free ranging last fall, and whatever they deposited, the seeds they deposited were pretty well fertilized, and they grew. The tractor's running. I had to put a new inner tube in it this week in the front. I'm going to work on getting tires for that before winter. We got to get the chains on in the next week and a half. So going to be pretty busy. I keep the chains on all winter long. Actually, I took them off in April and haven't put them back on, so they need to go back on and get on there. So I got to figure out something for a new weight box. Get a little bit more weight behind it. That'll help with getting up the hill and getting around. It does fine right now, but once it gets a little slick, it doesn't like to do that. So, anyways, that's where we're at. We've covered just about everything we need to cover, and pretty much that's where we're at. So, anyways, you guys have a great day. Take care of yourselves and those around you, because really we don't have anything other than that. I'll talk to you later.